Yeah, I wanted to bring you into this TC because I know you love to talk about how Bruno, as the midfield maestro that he is, he knows how to dictate matches. Now, something that I am very critical on with Arteta is his subs, especially late in matches. Tactically, I was very happy with what I saw from Odegaard when he came on. When he brought on Eze, we actually had like some umph in that midfield as well as on the left side. Martinelli, that's a different story. Something that
Mhm.
needs to be shored up, especially for the rest of the season. Super sub, I hope. But TC, when you watched that match, when outside of the moment of magic, did you really think that Liverpool they were pretty stymied for about 60 minutes of the match, and then they turned it on and were able to get that foul from Zubimendi? But like in that midfield, are you really seeing like things that can be improved upon, or are you feeling as though it's just the same old Arsenal Netflix FC?
No, look, I think, you've made some significant signings, boys, and I think what you have to realize is that the team needs time to gel. And what we tend to forget, being armchair critics, sitting here easily criticizing the coach in terms of what he's been working towards again for the whole week, putting into prep, utilizing what he's got. You have to trust in him as your coach for now, that he has utilized the best that he has, because he's had 6 days to work with this team, to work into formations and what's good. What I do see is absolute development. I think what you're seeing is it's the beginning of the season, you know? Unfortunately, what you see is a bit of a stagnation in the sense that of you need time for the teams to gel. You need time for not teams, the players to gel with each other, which is all going to take place. I think there's also what you saw was a hostile environment in which that was one of the cauldrons in which a midfield, one of the hardest places for a midfield to perform, let's be honest, is at Anfield. So I think taking that into consideration, it being very a fibrous, hostile environment, I think with what you had, I think you performed mightily well. Using your main centre back, keeping the game at 0-0, I think that just shows you in terms of the kind of structure. The game was really fought in between those two pillars of the boxes, which is really where, like, when a game is played like that, that means that like the tactics are really canceling each other out specifically. And that is done because, you have a great respect for each other and for each other's teams. And therefore, you are both giving each other the amount of respect that good teams deserve, but sometimes too much respect. So you're not taking the impetus that is needed until later on when you start to see the clock going down. I think in terms of your question there, Erica, yeah, I think there's been definitely some growth. I think you have to give the team time. I think what you have to do is trust in Arteta to believe in the team that he sets up is the best in his eyes and his team's eyes, based on the data and the things that have had that week. He's not willy nilly here coming deciding to choose something based on how I feel. No, people, you must understand this is science and data driven as well as like football IQ. So we are unfortunately not privy to it unless we're able to really look at it and say the way he set up was because Liverpool have got three in the middle, and when they're without the ball, their centre backs join up and up with the ball. Centre backs go inside to the middle to add the fifth, to give fifth man. So you get overloaded. So sometimes teams have to, specifically in the midfield, have to counter that. Otherwise, they get overrun. So with Liverpool at home, the emphasis is on them to score. We know that. I say we. Netflix and Arsenal know that. So what they do is they specifically have to protect it, and they did very well. To be fair, you lost because of a moment of brilliance, single moment of brilliance. Good goalkeeping, good team. So I think based off that, a one-off match in which was lost on a free kick, great development. And like Roger said earlier, I think it's just good signs to go to build on. We went to the champions of England and lost. So what?
Yeah,